Yeah. Go. Just go ahead. Nick Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. Try again. I know y'all can't see the feet, but he hitting that line dance right now. Y'all can't see the feet though. He hitting it though. He hitting it though, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see him. Y'all see him. Off the back. Y'all know what time it is, man. We're back with the YJP, with the Y Jesus Pod, with your host, Noah Savage. That is me. Today's a special episode, man. It's a special vibe. Not only because we got the vibes with the section, but because we got one of my best guys here with me. A guy's guy. A guy does what a guy does.
A Guy Fieri.
Guy Lafleur. You know, he's a guy, right? So, you know, with that, we got Carrollton's finest. You know, DBU's finest, St. Angelo's finest,
everybody's finest, Dell's finest.
Pause. Dell's finest. You know what I'm saying? Nashville's finest now. About to be Savannah's finest off the back. We got my guy, Nick Wilson.
What's up, people? Mic's not on.
It's on, bro.
It's on?
Yeah, it's
on. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't working before. Mic wasn't working before.
Yeah.
What's good, guys? Nick Wilson here. Current member of the Indianapolis Clowns in the Savannah Banana Baseball League. If you don't know what banana ball is, think about Harlem Globetrotters, but with baseball.
Yeah, I are you doing the intro, bro? Or I'm doing it.
You just introduced me, and I was introducing myself.
Okay, we didn't ask for that, bro. Off the back. But yeah, bro, we gonna get right into it. You know, I'm super excited for this episode because y'all know what the pod is about. If you're seeing this, you're coming from the first episode where it was my testimony. Now it's gonna be next testimony. We're just gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about it along the way, man. So, Nick, I mean, without further ado, you know, hey, why Jesus?
Can I talk now?
Yeah, you can talk.
Thank you.
You got permission.
Appreciate it. Because I mean, whenever I'm a guest, I thought I could be able to talk, maybe introduce myself, but my fault, bro.
No, anyway, you good,
bro. Nick Wilson. Where do I start? I think the best way to go about this testimony is to talk about it through the lens of baseball, which was such a big important factor in my life. It's the reason why I'm sitting here currently.
Yeah.
But to really start off, I mean, I'm from Carrollton, Texas, born and raised. Grew up in a gated neighborhood, white picket fence.
Gated. He was gated.
Crescentwood. If you've been to that,
overly
house,
gated. Overly gated.
Not overly. It was just one gate.
It was overly gated, bro.
Gate.
Them gates were high.
Anyway, but yes, I was very fortunate to come up the way that I did. Carrollton, Texas, born and raised. My mom currently still lives there. Just came back from there, actually. Love Carrollton from the bottom of my heart. Growing up, my parents were both Christians, and you know we all went to church. My mom taught at a academy, a Christian academy, AHA, American Heritage Academy.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, home of Gracie Binion, very big gospel Christian artist, and JXDN. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Nah.
Kind of like a pop punk guy. Was on tour with like Machine Gun Kelly and like Black Bear and
that's hard.
Who's the drummer? Travis Barker.
Barker.
He was on tour with all of them. So
okay.
Then of course,
shout out to him.
Truly came out of there. So a lot of talent that actually came out of there, which is kind of nuts.
That is crazy.
There goes that. But yeah, so I was raised up going to academy. Raised up going to church all the time. Served in the church from middle school to like early high school at Covenant Church, which was connected to AHA. AHA shut down after the 2008 financial crisis or economy crisis.
Jeez.
And yeah, so then I started going to public school, which was the Hebron High School feeder line. Started going to Indian Creek, and so
Shout out to all the homies in Hebron, man. Shout out to them.
if people ever have any kind of questions regarding like private school versus like public school, my bias is always public school.
Wait, so what grade were you when you transitioned?
Second grade when I transitioned, I was third. I started public school in third grade.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so got out of private school second grade, went to public school third grade. The only transition, I mean, I was so young, so like I really didn't understand much about a difference. The only thing I knew was like I didn't have to wear a uniform, so like yippee, let's go.
Bless.
So came up through elementary school, made some friends pretty easily. You know, I was involved in sports and such, and so you know, it's pretty easy to make friends. And then, of course, like you're in the same classes, you're going to recess together, so easy to make friends. Middle school comes around, still very firm in my faith, very strong in it. And so middle school is whenever you start to see a little bit of a separator with kids, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny how that works because, like, you know, elementary school, it's very innocent. And then middle school is where you start to get exposed to
everything.
Literally everything.
Especially when we grew up in middle school.
Well, yes, because whenever we grew up in middle school, iFunny was popping, Kik was popping, and Instagram was popping. Yes,
all y'all know what was on those too.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
It was
bad.
It was
stuff,
bad.
Really bad stuff. But like we were kids and somewhat sheltered to a point, especially coming from a suburban neighborhood right outside of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah,
we were all somewhat sheltered to like, you know, the like to real life. And so whenever we get exposed to those things, some people like, I think we all kind of react to, or some people try to ignore it and some people react to it and then adapt to it. And so, you know, I was a part of a group in early middle school, and like, I was hanging out with the black kids because there really weren't a lot of black kids to hang out with. No, it's true, honest. And so, like,
wait, if you had to guess, like, how many black kids were at your school, like during that time? Because the ones that know, like back in Walsh and Round Rock, like we had our select hand few, really.
I'll probably say about like 25, 30,
25,
maybe 30.
That sounds about right.
We had a decently sized middle school. In my class alone was probably like 40. And like it was a decent amount of black people.
In
really
Dallas,
not a lot.
In Dallas though, like you would think it'd be more.
But we were in a suburb.
But y'all were in suburbs, yeah.
So if inner Dallas, yes, of course, those are going to be majority black.
Yeah.
But no, we were suburban Dallas, so it was majority white there.
Yeah.
And so
you were hanging with the black kids.
Yeah, I was hanging out with the black kids, and then of course, like, you know, black kids and early on are gonna get accustomed to black culture. I mean, I was listening to rap music. I was I started like understanding just a little bit more about black culture and such. But at that time, we were kind of less aware of like what black culture was really doing, because your biggest stars at that point were like LeBron James and Chief Keef, honestly.
Sosa.
And, yes. And so like, and Lil Wayne. And so like,
Weezy.
you're in middle school and like your early development, and you're like, okay, this is really what life is. And so like, this is when Migos started popping and everything. And of course, like you start to listen to the things that they say in music, and you're like, okay, like, all that. And so my dad used to, I never listened to explicit music and never cussed really. My dad,
bro, the explicit music was unlocked for you too?
Oh no, so it was unlocked. So I didn't have a streaming service until I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
My dad would he would take music videos from MTV and VMA and stuff, or like VMAs and such, and he would burn the tapes on a CD and then put the CD on my iPod. So I was like, because
on there they were censored.
Yeah, and so I only listened to the music that he wanted me to listen to, and he would just upload. That's my music taste strictly comes honestly from my dad, especially early on, because I would just listen to whatever he would put on those tapes.
Yeah,
and you know, he'd put some rap on there, and then of course like the classic, like the Isley Brothers and
Oh yeah.
like Gap Band and such.
Shout out to all the parents out there
Yes.
that put us on the music that
Yes.
that we didn't even know about.
Absolutely.
And it formed us.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh my
shout
gosh, yes.
shout out to them.
Shout out to them. So he would burn the tapes and then put it on the iPod, and that's music I would listen to. And then, you know, whenever you get into middle school, you start to expose to like the internet and like getting your first iPhone. I got my first iPhone when I was in 7th grade. You start to listen to music for yourself. You got YouTube, you got this, and that.
Yeah.
My parents would be like very strict on like YouTube and like my like exposure to the internet, but like
because music videos was hot back then.
It was hot.
It was hot.
It was really good. That's whenever music was like really good, and like you anticipated Fridays, like
Yeah,
today
you
it's
really
just,
did.
like,
And then
oh,
you
new music
anticipated
dropped and-
going on YouTube
Yes.
to see the video.
Yes, and it was exclusive. It was very exclusive to
Yeah.
like watch those music videos because like that was in the era whenever you would have like everybody in those
Yeah.
music videos. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like Migos used to put on like productions. Now it's just like flashing lights and dancing here and there, but they used to tell like stories back in
Yeah.
there. Oh my gosh, they would unapologetically have 10-minute music videos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like
No, it's whole
hold you
acting, you know, scenes.
Yes,
in there.
hold you down, DJ Khaled. Like literally, you smart, you loyal.
You're loyal.
I appreciate, like bro, is
Appreciate
just
you.
like speaking on those. Like
Tight.
we just want to hear the song. Like you don't have to act. So you know, in the culture of that music and pop culture and stuff like that, I found myself not really fitting in, especially with like the black kids I was with. I didn't fit in very well with them, and because I didn't cuss. I didn't really force myself to cuss. I didn't talk the way that they talked. I didn't understand the things that they understood because they were a little bit more exposed to it than I was. My parents sheltered me a pretty good amount, and so like
That's so interesting. Bro.
yeah, I never really fit. I didn't fit in the exact same way, and it was just like it was part of me didn't want to, but part of me like of course wanted to because you want to like fit in.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it just wasn't me, and like I knew it wasn't me, and so. I mean, it was a tough
And that's fair
decision.
because you're being yourself. You're not gonna force it. Like,
Yeah. And so like, I mean, I was overly nice. I mean, it's still the way I am now.
Yeah.
But to the
yeah.
point where
Yeah.
it's
You
just
still
like,
you still are, bro.
yeah, and I would get stepped on a lot.
You don't really get stepped on that much. Like
yeah,
you don't really
because,
get stepped
like,
on.
I mean,
anymore,
because like I understand how to go away about it, where it's just
Yeah.
like you don't like you kind of like gain respect. But I mean, I used to get walked on over in middle school, and so like I was struggling with my identity, and so in the midst of that, you know, I turned to God in my faith, and so I had a fallout with my friends, and I mean that was very tough on me because like those were the only guys I really knew to hang out with, and so
Yeah.
having to find a new friend group and like, you know, middle school, it's just like
Wait. So in middle school, like you said, you had to find a new friend group. So
Yeah.
you just went away from them. Like what?
yeah,
Like,
I mean, I mean, I stopped hanging out with I stopped hanging out with them. I didn't really hang out with them as much, and like I don't resent those guys at all. Like one of the guys in that group was like my best friend. I'm gonna literally go on his wedding. Ryan was in
Oh,
that group. Yeah,
okay.
no, so like I didn't resent them at all for it. I just wasn't like them, and yeah, and then so we just had a certain fallout to where like I mean I didn't really want to just be around him like that anymore, and so like I mean, and part of it was just a classic like overreaction, especially on my part. Like it's
Yeah.
middle school. Like
Yeah.
those guys still cared for me, but like I couldn't see it that way because I always felt like I was always like the butt end of the joke. But I felt like those guys did care about me. I just couldn't take like being the butt end of the joke anymore.
yeah. I don't
So
know.
like so I just kind of found my own lane and just started to do my own thing. So like I mean I had I was very tough on me. So like I even have a moment I still think about it to this day. I was in my mom's room just like in like full tears, just like you know, like why God? Like I mean, you're just like, why is that that big of a deal? You're like just literally just friends. But that was our whole world. Our whole world was showing up to school, literally. And you can laugh about that all you want.
I'm not
but,
laughing.
Like your social life.
I'm not laughing, bro. I'm not laughing.
Your social life was. Please tell me your social life was not in your entire life,
Bro,
Whenever you
social life was everything
Whatever
back
you
then.
the fact that your social life was still means so much, bro. You got trucked in middle school, and we talk about it to this day still.
Shout out the homies.
We still.
Shout
I've
out,
never seen it.
Shout out Keela Bishop.
This
bro.
is the most talked about thing I've ever heard about. Like since I've been friends with this
Oh
guy.
my
Like, yeah,
gosh.
middle school. But it's the fact that everybody still talked about it. Why? Because it's all that mattered.
No, yeah, social life was all that mattered.
It's all that
That's
mattered
fact.
then.
Off the back.
So like
That's
I
facts.
was at a point where like I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I was just like I want to be myself, but like being myself wasn't cool.
Let me say something. Let me say something real quick, bro. I'm not laughing at the fact that he was in tears, like, screaming, "Why God?" That's not why I'm laughing. I'm laughing. No, it's not. I'm laughing because it was the way that you said it that just kind of threw me off guard. It came a little different. But all right, sorry. Continue. Love you, bro. I promise you, I wasn't laughing at that. I promise you.
Anyway, any freaking way. So 8th grade rolls around. I find my group. Just a bunch of weirdos. I mean, it's a lot of it's pretty mixed group racially. I think I tried to hang out with the white kids a little bit in 7th grade, and I wasn't like them at all.
Yeah.
Like I was token black guy, and I didn't really want to
token.
I didn't want to be token black guy. Shout out South Park. I didn't want to be token. That was me, dude. That was literally me. Didn't want to do that. So then I found my group of my friends, some weirdos, but I still talk to these guys to this day, and those were my best friends throughout high school.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, those guys were, and I was serving in church, showing up willingly, not showing up because my mom had to bring me, because I had a general engagement and really wanted to know God even more, which is why I felt like I was unpopular and felt like I was not I felt like I wasn't like everybody else, because I wanted to stick to Christ so bad to where I was just especially at that age, I kind of thought Christ like my parent. I thought of God like my parents, where it's if you don't do something right, then you're gonna get punished for it. And that's something that really stuck in my head for a very long time, and honestly, just recently broke out of. But that's what faith and Christianity was in my head, and it was like a vending machine where it's just whatever you give, that's whatever you get out. And I was and I do appreciate thinking like that to a sense. Obviously that's not true. That's not the way God intended a relationship with us.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I thought like that, because it kept me in line, truly and honestly, it kept me in line. And you are mid-text right now. He's not posting editing notes. It's not, he's literally on iMessage. I'm watching.
Bro, it's not, it was something related to the pod.
Yeah, we're going to keep it real, bro.
Anyways.
So let's jump into high school. High school, of course, as y'all know how it goes. If you have 3 other middle schools in your area, you all jump into one high school. That's the way ours was structured. Yours was structured that way, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. We just went. So basically, we just went with all the people. But the thing was, we had a bunch of different other feeders, middle schools as well. It was Walsh, Cedar Valley, Chisholm, but all it was all of. Basically, a lot of us.
So we had 3 feeders.
Yeah, we had 3. Yeah,
Harbor Creek, Killian, and Creek Valley.
Shout out to them.
We all go to Hebron. I kind of like the way they did it. We had a 9th grade campus, so we were kind of sheltered. Yeah, we had a 9th grade campus, so we were sheltered in our own way.
That's interesting.
You'd have a couple classes at the big campus that felt like, oh my gosh, felt like a college at that point. It felt like I was okay, we're the big kids now.
Yeah, everybody just was.
Yeah, and so we're all in the middle school. We're all in. We're all sorry. We all went to the 9th grade center, and so that was a good way to get exposed. And so still stuck with my friend group. Still kind of hung around, made new friends. You have new people in your friend group. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun in middle school. I really enjoyed it a lot. And then of course a big thing was baseball. So I played for what was called the NTX Hawks. We had Hebron Hawks on our chest in middle school. And so I was okay, hey, time is here, time's now. And I was let's go make the team.
Yeah.
So we had a fall baseball class actually. And
for ninth graders.
Grade. We had a fall baseball class.
Interesting.
And you had to try out in order to make the class.
Okay.
And so that was my 3rd period class. So we had to try out to make the fall team. And to make the fall team, so there's a lot of kids that try out for the baseball team. I think we had 3. We had varsity, JV1, JV2.
Yeah.
And so it's about, I would say, 63, maybe 70 kids in the whole program.
It's a lot of bodies.
The fall class was open to just about anybody. The fall class was if you play baseball decently well, if you show that you can kind of play baseball, then you're in.
Okay.
I played baseball my entire life. I went to try out for these I went to go try out for this, and Coach Stone, love Coach Stone. Still talk to him a lot.
Shout out to him.
Very Christ-like figure for sure. He told me I made the fall team by the skin of my teeth.
Wow. He kept it a bean.
Think about how thin the skin. I didn't even know there was skin on your teeth when he told me that. Didn't even know. But yeah, he told me I made the fall team.
And so, for reference, for the people who don't really know baseball like that, how many players are on a baseball team per team?
So you have 9 play the field,
right?
And then you have probably about 3 reserves for those 3 or 4 reserves for those 9 guys. And I'd say you have about 22 guys on the team because everybody. Not even that. I'd probably say you have 18 guys on the team because everybody pitched. Especially that young, everybody pitched. And then as you get to varsity, then you have your PO. So a varsity roster, I believe, is 26 guys or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, especially we're playing at a high level, so yeah.
Okay. And so Coach Stone told you off the back,
made it by the skin of my teeth.
Nick, you almost didn't make it, buddy.
Yeah, they almost didn't make the fall team. The fall team, you barely even had to play baseball. I thought I was decent at baseball, honestly. Right. And that was a huge reality check, a massive reality check for me, where I was like, I kind of got to get to work.
Right.
So we had, I was very fortunate to kind of come up with, I was in the 3rd period. All the varsity and the older guys were in the 4th period, but I would stay after school every day.
Wow.
And that's where I got to meet a lot of those guys. And so I would get lessons from them. Zach DeLoach currently plays in the MLB right now, or he's in AAA with the White Sox organization. Made his debut.
So you were around a lot of talent.
Oh,
coming up.
So my freshman year, we had a Oklahoma State commit. Guy got drafted by the Yankees. Zach was committed to A&M. Went to go play in the MLB.
Yeah.
I had a couple other guys go to UIW. Who else? There was a couple of Division Ones, and then you had a whole bunch of JUCO guys. We had a really good team.
Yeah, so you're surrounded by guys.
Yeah, for sure. And we had a lot of good talent, especially in my area. I think Dallas is probably one of the premier youth baseball areas. I think in the nation, personally.
Yeah.
We had Flower Mound, Southlake, Coppell, and Marcus all in our district, and those are top teams in the nation every year. And those teams are usually going to be in the state tournament. So we were very competitive in sports.
Yeah.
In all sports.
Yeah.
And so, I go about that year, making new friends, and everything's great. And then, of course, staying strong in my faith, going to church with mom and such, still serving in church. And then, spring comes around, tryouts are in January. And I'm nervous, of course, but I feel like, I've been practicing enough and getting my stuff down. I was very undersized. I remember running an 8.360 back then. And that is really freaking slow.
And tell the people what's a good time.
I would say a
60.
good, a perfect,
and tell them even what a 60 meet.
A 60-yard dash. It's just basically a 60-yard dash.
Okay. And why does baseball run a 60 as compared to the 40 for football?
Yeah. So 60-yard dash, you have to run somewhat of a long space in baseball. Especially because you're rounding bases. So the bases are 90 feet. Bases are 90 feet, and then of course 90 times 4 is 360.
Look at me.
360.
Off the back.
No, those 436. 360 feet. So you have to typically you're trying to leg out singles and doubles and such, and so we do 60s is a good measure of can you build speed and then can you hold speed.
Right.
And so
you ran mad slow.
Yeah, it was really slow. It was really freaking slow. It's 7 seconds. 7.3 was a pretty good time to run at that time, and I was running 8 on a consistent basis. I was really undersized, really slow, really underdeveloped. And I kind of knew I was later on the puberty side than a lot of other people were. You had kids in beards, and I still was looked like I was in 6th grade when I was in 9th grade. And so, yeah, dude, it was crazy. Shout out Alex Haltom. My goodness. Greatest middle school athlete I've ever seen in my life.
Shout out to him.
So then we had tryouts and like I thought everything went well. And then I literally remember there sitting with my sister. We went to go get something to eat and then we go check the list, or we went to the mall. And everybody else went to go check the list kind of earlier in the day, so I had checked the list later. It was posted up near the baseball place or baseball locker room. And then I see my name, and they did it by ID numbers. So like I'm looking for my ID number, can't find it there. I read it through probably like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Still can't find it. My sister's sitting there waiting for me. Can't find my name on there.
Is it literally like a scene out of a movie? Like you go to the board.
But I wasn't. Thank God I wasn't up there with other people. Like I was embarrassed already. But like if I would have been with other people, I would have been so embarrassed. Oh my gosh. So yeah, names, lists, and everything. Don't see my name on there. I'm like, well. So I mean, I'll go back. Obviously, I'm mad in the car. Like I remember literally having like a hamper and like throwing it. Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
You threw the hamper in the car?
Oh no, sorry. I was in my room at that point.
Oh,
and like I just tore everything up. I was just so angry because you know I was just like, I was angry with God, and it was such an honest and raw moment, and it was like I thought God was the vending machine, and it was like, you know, if I do everything right, if I show up and I do everything right, and I do, and like I work hard, I'm gonna get whatever God has set out for me.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out that way, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing?
You were confused.
And then, you know, I got a voice in my head. I was still a nice kid at that point, and Coach Stone was I think Coach Stone was such a great figure to me at that point because he was very Christ-like in himself, and he promoted that to us as well. Now we're at a public school, so we can't openly say Christ and such.
Right.
But like he had Christ-like morals, and I saw that because I went to church, and I understood what it looked like to be a Christ-like man, and that's what it looked like to me.
Right.
So, you know, I appreciated Coach Stone a lot, and so I had a voice kind of tell me in my head. I was just like, hey, you should probably email him. That voice right there is the reason I'm sitting here right here today. That email that I sent is the exact reason why everything happened in my life the way it did. So I send an email. I'm just like, hey, thank you for everything. Thank you for the fall. Because whenever you didn't make the team, you had your schedule changed. So
like
that
immediately.
So you had your schedule changed immediately, like that Monday.
Wow.
And so I was supposed to be going to another class. And then I had, you know, of course, like, I think it came out on a Saturday because tryouts were Friday and Saturday. It came out on a Saturday. So I emailed him that night and I was like, hey, like, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I think I still have the email on my phone, actually. I was like, I appreciate that. The fact that like you like helped me out and this and that. And I was like, well, and like, I know for sure that you're going to see, like, I know I was disappointed today, but I know you're going to see me out there next year and I'm going to make it.
Hey.
And then he emails me back. He's like, Nick, like, we really appreciated my time with you. Like, I'm sorry it didn't work out. And cause like, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part about being a coach is that you can really like a guy, but if he's not good at baseball,
you're
like,
hey.
we're not trying to find good guys out there. We're trying to find good ball players.
Well,
no,
yes,
of course,
but like, you got to be able to play too. You got to be able to play.
Yeah, you got to have like a balance.
Yeah.
I was a good guy and a bad baseball player.
Yeah.
And so, so he asked me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to be a manager for this baseball team, or for not even for varsity, for JV, because varsity already had a manager."
Wow.
And I was like, I thought about it. I prayed on it, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Because I just want to stay around and
stay around the game.
Yeah, I just want to stay around a little bit, and like it was better than sitting in a classroom. Tight. And it was a class, so fourth period was a class, so I got to be in the baseball class, so just be around baseball. I was like, you know what, let's do it. So took that freshman year, was the JV black manager. My day-to-day duties were just kind of help out with practice when I could, throw with guys whenever, catch bullpens, which sucked. But had to do it. Just kind of had to do all the grunt work in baseball, but it wasn't really too hard. Just had to take care of a lot of things that other people didn't want to take care of, and so Like I just took my role, and then I would travel to games with them. Like we'd miss school, I'd go to tournaments with them. I'd be at every game, and so like I was like a player, just wasn't playing. So like I mean, that's kind of what I wanted was the baseball experience anyway. So it was fun to just be a part. Did Game Changer, which was like it's like it's how you keep track of the game.
Okay.
So I mean that was fun. That was great. Like I actually had a really good time. I loved my team. Made some friends that I still talk to this day. And those guys kind of took me. I think what was so important is that those guys treated me like I was a player. I was a freshman. There's a lot of juniors. There's a lot of sophomores and juniors on that team. And those guys took me in and made me feel a part. They could have easily treated me like an outcast.
Yeah.
And they could have easily just been like, oh, this guy's a manager. Like, whatever. Like, this is like, this guy's a joke. But, like, I still had my personality. I was still me. And I appreciated so much that those guys took me in and then made me what, like, it honestly made me what I am today because, like, those guys showed me what it was like to, treat everybody with respect and, show everybody love. And so, like, I really do appreciate those guys a lot. And so I'm going into the summer, I'm getting prepared to go play again. And, I'm like, summer was rough because I had hid from my friends so long, or I hid from my teammates so long that I was, a manager. I just told them not
you
to
didn't
play.
tell, you hadn't told any.
I didn't tell anybody.
You took that?
So I played with the team like that you had to make. And so I made the team somehow, some way. I don't know how. Funny thing, my coach actually went to Angelo State, which is nuts. And so
full circle.
Yeah, he hit me up like later last year, and it was nuts. So I hid it from my friends, and they actually found out because I had a couple of them over at my house because I was good friends with some guys, and then we had a little pin at the we had a little pin with at like our award show at the end of the year, our awards at the end of the year, and it said Nick Wilson manager at the bottom. Wow. They found that, and I was like, yeah, guys. So I had to tell them. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to tell people I was a manager. I mean, I had friends at school ask me, "Did you make the team?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm on the team," and they're like, "Well, why don't you have pants on?" I couldn't even lie to them. I was just like, "I'm a manager." Yeah. So that next year, sophomore year, I'm like, okay, it's time to go. So I'm still staying. I'm working hard, keeping my faith strong. I'm thinking, if God's gonna make this happen for me, then I have to be on my A game. I have to be acting right and everything like that. Yeah. I didn't smoke or drink in high school. I didn't really hang around that crowd anyway. Yeah. And I like.
Wait, you wasn't even around it?
No. I went to my first party as a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
I wasn't around drinking or smoking anything, like, because my friends didn't do it, and like I figured out that they did, but I just wasn't.
You just weren't there.
I wasn't there, and honestly, I wasn't with the popular group, and I didn't really care to be at that point because like I was just happy with where my friends were at.
Yeah, you wasn't really missing nothing.
No, and then not only that, like I had the neighborhood crew, and so like I was okay.
Shout out to them.
I hung out with the neighborhood crew all the time. I hung out with the neighborhood crew a lot, and so so like that's what that's where I felt like I wasn't missing out a lot. No, we can skip over that. That's where we can skip over that.
Off the back.
We can skip over that.
We're not gonna act like bro just didn't say what he just said.
We can skip over that.
So wait a second.
Thank God I'm black. So we had so I had my neighborhood crew. And that was fun to have the neighborhood crew because like those weekends were like I could have been like alone and stuff like that. Like I had this. And those guys were a little younger than me. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Those guys were a little younger than me, so like they didn't really have much going on. So like I would just hang out with those guys. So that was the reason I kind of stayed out of it. But it was also my faith where it was just like, okay, smoking, drinking, it's bad. Don't smoke or drink. Cool. Mm-hmm. Sophomore year comes around. I end up like kind of like finding like who I am a little bit more because like freshman year, like I was still kind of like, I don't really know who I am. Sophomore year, I was like okay with who I am. I used to sit in the library every day in my sophomore year at lunch.
And do what?
We would just play chess. Like I was with like goons. I was with absolute goons. Like these guys, it wasn't like nerdy group I was hanging out with. Like these were like I was hanging out with like low key like druggies in that in the library, but it was so much fun. Like that's where my best that's where I started to get close to my best friend today, Julius.
Shout out Jules.
We used to sit in that library every day together.
Juju Beans.
That's where that's where I just like I made some good friends there, and you had to be quiet in the library. I don't know why we ate in there. People ate in there all the time, but and like people would just go in there to study, but we were in there just like josing, like literally just messing around. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
So that's where I started to figure out who I was. Where it was just like I was okay with not being a part of a cool group. I was okay with like kind of just being like I was able to be myself. So, like I was okay with being with those guys. So that was the social aspect of things. But I really wasn't like I wasn't involved or anything. I didn't want to be. Mm-hmm. So then. I'm still within my faith and everything. Going to church camps with Covenant churches where I still went, which was the school, the AHA school, which I went to. But it's because my mom would take me. But I was still eager to show up. So then baseball hits around again, and doing everything right, everything's going well. And then sophomore, like I'm at tryouts. Everybody's like, Nick, like this is your year, like you're gonna do it. Like I got a lot of support from my guys. And then the thing about sophomore year is like I couldn't just like play at like a JV2 level. In order to make it your sophomore year, you had to make JV1. You couldn't make JV2 because JV2 is all the freshmen. Right. So they told me I couldn't play JV2. So I played JV1, or I had to play JV1, and then I'm at the tryout, and then like I feel like everything's going well. I feel like I'm doing my best, and that's all I can do. And then coach pulls me to the side before tryouts even end, and he's fighting back tears himself, and he's like Nick, I can't. And he's like, Nick, I can't. Like it's like I feel like you would make the JV1 team, but I can't put you on roster this year. And like I was crying immediately.
What?
Yeah, he's like I can't. He's like I felt like I had to pull you aside and tell you that like tryouts weren't even over, and he pulled me away like mid tryout.
Mid try, he didn't even let you finish?
No, because I was done at that point. So he was just like, I can't let you be on rosters. Like you're gonna have to go be a manager again, and that was very heartbreaking because reality started to set in, and I was like, because the next year was junior year, and like usually you don't really see a lot of juniors try out for baseball unless it was like their first time. So it would have been my third time trying out. And to make it junior year, you had to play at a varsity level. And I'm like, I don't know how the heck I can't even make it for JV.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'm even going to make that jump to get on varsity level. And mind you, I'm still very undersized, very, very but very somewhat weak, still very slow. And so like I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen. So then I go about that year as a JV manager, and that one hurt. I still had a lot of fun that year, but that one hurt because I was manager. I wasn't with the juniors and seniors anymore. I was with the sophomores and the juniors, and sophomores were my class. So like a lot of the guys that had made the team were my friend. Like that I did the tryouts with my freshman year. Those were the guys that I was on the managing with. Managing with, and so like that hurt because like those are my friends. I was with my friends. I was with my friends now. Like I knew a lot of those guys already. Those are my friends that I was on the team with, and like I couldn't play. So like that's the part that like really stung with me. I was just like, dude, I like it. I mean, it's like you can imagine like all your friends are playing and like you're not playing. It's like it sucked. So then the year goes on, and this is where God's favor is just absolutely ridiculous. And like this is how I know that like this is what God's vision was for me the entire way, because this doesn't happen without His favor. Yeah. So I was still pitching. I was playing rec leagues at that point in the spring. And you know that like all the guys that are playing rec league in spring are the guys that didn't make their high school team or like didn't have a high school team or like were homeschooled. So I was playing with a lot of like homeschooled guys that were like, and then some of them were like 8th graders. Shoot, some of them were really young.
Wow.
And so I mean that was a hit to my pride alone, but I wanted to keep playing. Right. So I was playing spring ball, so like I was still staying in shape, still pitched and everything. And pitching was my thing. I couldn't hit worth a dang. So because it was just awful. It was terrible. So I was just pitcher. And then some guys on the team had got caught vaping. It's 3 guys on the team that got caught vaping. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not even gonna add them, but shout out to the ones in middle school. Y'all know who y'all are, and the people who from Walsh know who I'm talking about. They kicked that off, man. They shout out to them.
Shout out to the Vapors.
Shout out to the Vapors, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Off the back.
Thank you.
Obviously, like, stop vaping. Of course, vaping is horrible.
Thank
off the
you
back.
to the Vapors. I literally would not be sitting here today unless like kids vaped. Thank you. So yeah, that happened.
Don't
vape.
vote.
Don't vape. Do not vape.
When I say shout out, I
not
mean jokingly.
He just
off the back.
yes.
Go ahead.
No. Don't vape. But vaping is what got me to where I am today. It's not because I did it.
It's a part. It's a part of the story.
But kids.
Like we can't
so
sugarcoat it. It happens.
these three guys, they know exactly who they are. Shout out to them. These guys got kicked off the team for vaping. I still talk about it to them today. I was like, you're the reason I'm still playing today. And they're like, yeah. And so those guys got kicked off the team for vaping. Or not kicked off. They were suspended for 3 weeks on vaping. All three of them were pitchers.
So they needed something.
They needed a guy.
They needed
so
someone.
I was like, well, hey, shoot.
Guess who phone rang?
I can pitch. Like I was right there. I can pitch. Coach Rumsey, thank you so much to him.
Shout out Coach Rumsey.
He believed in me and he was just like, well, hey, let's let him pitch. And so ended up pitching 2 tournaments. Did my thing. It's not like I went out there and it was like a stellar performance or anything. Went out, did my thing, and I held my own. It was good. Like I felt good about it. And so throughout that whole year, I got suited up the entire year thinking that I was still gonna pitch. And so because I was technically on roster.
Yeah.
So I was being a manager, doing manager duties, but I was still preparing myself to pitch. He said that based on those performances, he was like, yeah, we might have you pitch throughout the rest of the year. And then, the year kind of keeps going, didn't pitch. And so we come down to the last weekend, and I tell Coach, I'm just like, hey, I hadn't had an opportunity, since that time. And I was just like, so, are we going to – and I was, of course, I was scared to say anything because I felt like I was overstepping just to even have the opportunity to pitch was great. But I was just like, I still want my chance. I still want to pitch. So then he gave me the chance to pitch at the end and ended up a win in baseball is whenever you come into pitch and your team was losing and then starts winning. And then I got a win as a pitcher. I pitched 3 innings, I got a win as a pitcher. And I was like, and that was probably one of the greatest, one of the greater moments that I remember coming up early was getting my first win, especially in we're playing against Southlake. JV,
that's big.
Yeah, it was big. I mean, obviously it was JV1, but Southlake JV is still pretty freaking good. So
better than spring ball.
It was I was so proud of that moment, and it was really cool to be able to do that, and that was really fun. Yeah. And so going into that sophomore summer, had a lot of fun that year too, and that's the main thing about baseball was that all of that was fun. It was a lot of turmoil. It was a lot of pain through that, painful moments, but I'm so thankful that God was able to make it fun for me still. It was still worth showing up every single day, even though, yes, I was still a manager. I still had fun doing it. And the fact that the Lord gave me that joy, and I think that's what, yes, I thought of God as a vending machine, and I thought of God as okay, I give to you, you give back to me.
Transactional,
very transactional. But the thing is the relationship was still there, but it was just my adolescence that,
the immaturity.
My adolescence and immaturity.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to understand that, it's God.
100%.
And he was just and I think I can't speak for him, but I think God was just you're trying, you're here, you're showing up. And so I think because of that, I think God showed me favor in that way. And I was very appreciative of that. But as we're going to talk about later down the road, sometimes your actions aren't always going to equal, sometimes God's going to give you favor even whenever we all don't deserve it because, we're sinners. But there are sometimes where I feel like I really didn't deserve it, and I still got it.
Still got it.
So
I got stories.
And that was cool. So that was the start of that, and then into spring comes. We have spring exit meetings. Coach Stone tells me, "Hey, we're gonna have you on as a PO next year," and that was such a great feeling. Still remember that moment to this day where I finally made it. And this was it. I finally made it.
We here.
So we're here. Junior year comes around. I'm still very underdeveloped. This is where I started to socially become a little bit more into the cooler group. We started hanging out. I started hanging out a little bit with them in sophomore year, but this is where I started becoming a little bit more social. Got out of my shell. Joined. What is student council. Joined student council. Joined.
What was your role? What was your job?
I was a member.
Oh, you weren't like treasurer or like
No.
VP or anything?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want to step in. That was a little overstepping for me.
Type.
So I joined student council. Student council was a lot of fun. I loved student council.
Shout out to
Well,
student council.
my sister was. She was on the board. She graduated Hebron.
Shout out to Kennedy.
Yeah, for real. She graduated Hebron a few years before. She graduated 2014, and I got in 2015. So she was popping. She was popping back then. So then, like, she was one that encouraged me to do it. Kind of got me out that social like bubble that I put myself in. Bursted out of that, and then started joining some clubs. Made some friends through the clubs, of course, and then really just got into just like being more social. So then I started to like leave the I started to like kind of switch up a little bit, and Julius will tell you that every time.
Whoa.
I switched up.
You switched up on a gang?
I swithed up on the library gang. Like I would
On the
pop out
guys? He was in there.
I'd pop out every now and then.
He was
It'd
in there
it'd be one of those,
playing
like,
chess.
It'd be one of those. Would be like, it's good job.
You just see them from
hey,
out.
hey,
Like how you hating from outside the club? You can't even get in.
We made it. Like I was looking. It's not like I was looking down on them, but like I felt like I was at a position where like I was like making friends.
You were
like,
up.
I was kind of like
you felt up. You felt
I was
up.
spreading my wings. Yes.
Yeah.
And like especially like making the
That's
team.
crazy. You switched though.
I switched up, dude. I switched up.
Switched on them.
And so like I started spreading my wings a little bit, and then become like more of who I am. So baseball season comes around. All the guys that were in my class were on varsity now because my sophomore and junior year varsity was not very good. So like all that talent that we had, like we barely had any commits. I don't think anybody even plays baseball to this day on those two teams.
Crazy.
And then we had I was on JV one again with Coach Rumsey. It was my third year with Coach Rumsey, which is hilarious. Third year with him, and then he told me that I was gonna have a role on that team, and then like he just said like you're probably gonna be like a back half pitcher. Like I wasn't very good still very undersized, still not very strong.
Yeah.
And didn't throw very hard, which is super important in baseball, especially at that age. You have to have some velocity, and I didn't have it. I always threw strikes though. Like I always threw strikes. I always was consistent with that, but I just I would get hit a lot, and so he kind of shelved me. And that third year, like I made the team, but it felt like I was, it felt like I was still a manager because I was still doing my managing duties, and it literally felt like the same year that I had my sophomore year. It's just the title was I was on the roster.
Yeah.
So I didn't really feel much different.
Yeah.
Still had a lot of fun that year. Made some really good friends on that junior year team because I was with the sophomores and some of the freshmen. So that's honestly what helped out my social circle as well, is that each year I was on like kind of like a different set of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so
can you angle the mic towards you? There you go. Yeah.
I was with a different set of guys every year. So that kind of got me to, know a lot of different people, which was really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then senior year is whenever I grew my wings and like really started to fly. I was like leader of like the spirit team. I was top 5 in homecoming king and prom king.
Shout out to the homecoming king and queens out there, man.
Shout out to them. I was super social at that point. Knew everybody.
That's when was senior year when we met. Was it junior year?
Junior year is whenever I met these guys, and these guys were bullies, honestly.
Shout out to Cam and Dan, bro.
Cam, yes.
So for those of you who don't know, I know Nick because of Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Camden Kelton. For those of you who don't know, that's one of the homies, day ones.
Mm-hmm.
This is Cam's cousin. Nick and Cam are cousins. Cam would like during the holidays, whenever would bring Nick down, Nick would come hang out with us. We thought Nick was weird. I'm gonna be real. I was
like,
cause you kind of were, bro. Like you kind of were.
Said, like that sophomore year, like
one of them ones.
I was okay with being weird.
Yeah, bro. And so like he was just kind of just fly on the wall there, and then he started coming around more and more, and we're like not really.
They were. That's really how it was. But honestly, what helped out with us was Xbox.
Box did it, bro. Box did it. Box makes or breaks friendships 100%. So that's that little backstory how we know each other.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So me and Cam knew each other our entire lives. Cam played baseball, and
shout out to Cam.
Cam was like the way I looked at Cam was like Cam was everything that I wasn't.
You looked up to him.
I looked up to him big time, especially in high school, because this guy was the social butterfly. He was really good at baseball. He was athletic.
He had it.
He was all this. Yeah, he had it. And like, I can't say I was jealous of him, but like, yeah, of course, like, if you have a vision of what you want to be successful, and I felt like that guy was it.
Let alone he's your cousin.
Yeah,
he's
my cousin.
like
I see him all the time.
He's right there.
Yes, and so like he would go play in big tournaments, and I'd go watch him. I'd go watch him play in the big tournaments. I was playing in like the local tournaments.
Was it like you like to see like a boy like sitting up through the fence, like your hands right there,
yeah,
like you looking
like Squidward,
like
just
looking
down on SpongeBob and
type.
Patrick. And so like yeah, I would go join him. Like I would go watch his like big tournaments in Dallas. Typically like you kind of knew you were good if you were traveling a lot at that age.
Yeah.
Some of it's scam, of course, because like they're just like, oh, you're gonna travel and your kid's gonna play good baseball, and you just get absolutely ran. But sometimes, and they just want to take your money. But this guy, he was legit. He was playing against these teams, and like he was winning rings. I'd never like won like a legit ring in my life. And so he was doing he was everything that I wanted to be in a baseball player.
Yeah.
And then like even as a person, and so like, but he was very encouraging because he knew I wasn't on that same level. But he was still very encouraging to me. He didn't like look down on me at all. Like he obviously knew that he was better. He was better playing better baseball, but he never looked down on me. So that's just part of it.
Cam's never been that type of guy.
I appreciated that about him a lot. And so jumping into senior year, came out my shell, became very social, started hanging out with these guys a little bit more. And so, yeah, that's where Dallas Buyers Club was born for senior year.
DBC.
Because
For those of you that don't know, DBC consists of me, myself, Nick, Dan, Cam, and Hudson. Shout out to Hudson. 5 for 5.
Yeah, so.
Bro, don't do that.
No, I don't do anything.
Don't do that.
So these guys would come around. So I had a very nice house once again that we moved into. Third grade. And so that house fed families. If you've been in that house before, you know that and honestly, you didn't even have to be my friend if you were in that house. If you were just a breathing body around Carrollton, you've probably been in that house before, because my upstairs was structured to where like you can go inside
that back
and
door,
not see my parents out, basically a back door.
That back
and
door,
then upstairs, my sister had moved out. And so, like, upstairs was basically like my own, like, 2-bed apartment.
Open season.
Yeah, it was open. So then, like, I used to have anybody and everybody over there.
All right, bro.
So, yeah, for real. But that was fun. And so, yeah, senior year, like, was popular. Everything happened. I had a girlfriend.
I was about to. Ooh.
I seen her.
I almost said shout out to her.
Who cares?
I almost said shout out to her.
See this anyway.
Wow.
She's not gonna see this.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for that. That's crazy. Continue.
So
it be your own. It really be your own.
So I think that's whenever I started coming to my own on my faith as well. So I had a car at that point. I got my license in December.
Shout out to the Jeep.
In that year. Shout out to the Jeep. My goodness, shout out to the Jeep. Got that's whenever I started to like come into my own in my faith, because then like my mom wasn't gonna drive me to church anymore. I had my own car, so I started driving myself to church.
There you go. That's how you really know if you want to go.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's how you really know when the parents aren't making you go and you got to get in your car and drive to church. That's when you like early in the morning too, after you've been out probably on Saturday, sleep over at the homie's crib. Like that's when you really know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because your parents are like, I think at that point my parents were like, if you take what you want with this faith, like, and that's like you have it.
Yeah.
And so obviously like they're very loving, supportive parents and every single step away in my life. But they had their own sides as well, which we will get into later. So I'm at my senior year right now. We're probably like 30 minutes into this.
Yeah, we gotta kind of have to.
Okay.
You can speed it up.
Wow, dude, we didn't even get to the good part.
We're not even. We're an hour in.
We're an hour in.
We're 54 minutes in.
Dude, you should have told me.
Nah,
college is the good part. Y'all don't even.
Yeah.
No, high school isn't even like the.
I'm gonna drop the timestamps. Since y'all want to go to college, y'all can
college is the good part.
But yeah.
So let me speed through this a little bit, because I was trying to hit through every detail.
Yeah.
So let me speed through this a little bit. Then started going to church by myself. Got into Spots, which was through Prestonwood Baptist Church.
What is that?
Which was right down the street from me. It was a big mega church.
Okay.
If you know anything about them, they get a lot of scrutiny every year for their Christmas show.
Shout out to Christmas.
Their Christmas show is like very like big and spectacular. You have to pay for it, and a lot of people think that's like their service, but it's really just a show that they put on for it. So like, I get why they get the scrutiny that they do for it, but I really do think that it's just a show, and a lot of people like don't really have that they have a really big misunderstanding. Plus, the way like mega churches are seen today is like, you know, just money grabs, and so I mean, it could be that way. I didn't know the ins and outs of it, but I had a really good community out of it, so that's the reason why I kept going.
Shout out to them.
So yeah, Prestonwood. Senior year comes around.
Senior year came around. We in it.
So we're in. Sorry, senior spring comes around. So like we're in the middle of this thing. I started pitching a little bit to start off, and I started to come into my own. I started to grow a little bit. Hit puberty, like the start of it, and I was really coming through, and then
shout out puberty.
Started pitching throughout the year. Had some pretty big moments, and like that was a really truly special year because all the people that had saw me through 3 years of being a manager and like actually like starting to grow and blossom as a baseball player. It was a super proud moment to like be able to do that in front of those guys. Had a moment where like I had to save, and then like I remember like literally crying to my mom that day.
Yeah,
and like it was just like it was like a basic save, but it was just like, you know, it meant more. I was on varsity and like I was doing it. Senior year comes around. We go have a playoff game at DBU. Foreshadow, huge. Huge foreshadow. So then I had a playoff. It was game 3 of the playoffs, and then I ended up like winning the game, like being the hero of the game, and like that was such a.
I think I remember seeing videos of that playoff.
Oh my
game.
gosh, yes, that was such an awesome moment.
You low-key milked those on your. Nah, actually, it wasn't on some. Homeboy,
can you blame me for milking it?
I can't.
Can you really blame me?
Nah,
for milking
yeah, you were the
it?
hometown hero.
3 years of suffering.
Nah, you're right. That's my fault. That's hate.
So
that's
then
hate.
we ended up
hate.
making
that's
it pretty far. We were like 3 rounds into playoffs, which was pretty far at that point, and then lost to Flower Mound, who was really freaking good.
Yeah.
So then I'm done. Senior year, had a great year, and then we're going into freshman year. I have no offers. I have nothing. I topped out at 82, which is pretty slow to be throwing for a fastball. And
especially going to college with.
Yeah, especially I had 2 places, Cedar Valley College and Vernon College. Went to tryouts for both of those. Didn't get an offer from either of them. They just said, yeah, we'll take you, basically as a walk-on. Cedar Valley was not very good at Division II, Division III junior college baseball. Vernon College just came off of having 5 wins.
The whole season?
No, they had 13 wins the whole season.
Jeez.
But they were 5 in like.
How many games y'all play?
Like 50. They're like 5 and 25 in conference, and like that team told me, yeah, we'll take you. That'll show you where I was at skill wise.
Right.
So then ended up going to Vernon College, and like this is where my faith kind of started to dwindle a little bit. So I loved going to Prestonwood, and I didn't really want to go anywhere else. So whenever I got to Vernon, I kind of like sheltered myself. I was like, oh, there's really no good churches out here. I didn't even go try. So like I still didn't drink or smoke in college. Still like it turned more into personal pride than obedience.
Like you wore it like a badge.
Yeah, I definitely wore it.
I feel that. I
definitely wore it, but like it was also like I didn't want to get in trouble, and like I was like
Tight.
I'm already on the back
they
end.
tested y'all.
Yeah. Well, we got tested, like even drinking wise, like we couldn't drink at the dorms, and I was already on the back end of the team, so I was like I can't risk anything.
Tight.
So spring comes around. This is spring 2020, February 2020. If you know what's gonna happen next, we shout out to COVID. I played, but then I didn't make our travel roster. So basically, I would have burned my red shirt, and that would have been my entire freshman year. Would have been 3 innings basically because I wouldn't have traveled. COVID hits, everything's wiped. We all go home
cooked.
And this is a place where it was tough spiritually for a lot of people because you didn't have church, you didn't have any like community groups, and it was kind of tough, like unless you had that really strong personal relationship.
It made it feel like you had nothing, low-key.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, like you said, if you didn't have that personal relationship, like it was kind of like just like, oh, it's a wrap.
Yes, genuinely, it felt like you didn't have anything. So I mean, I was just doing the same thing I did every day. I'd wake up, watch a movie with my mom, go work out, come back, eat dinner, and then you're on Xbox from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. And then you repeat the next day. And then the thing about
those Xbox days
oh
during
my gosh, those are the
COVID.
greatest Xbox
Oh
days.
my
If you didn't have
gosh.
Xbox X back then, I'm so
Wow.
sorry. Those are
Yeah,
the greatest
bro.
Xbox days we've ever seen in our
We
times.
will never see that
Because
again.
it was like 20 man parties because nobody else was doing anything. It's like it was
Yeah.
okay to be lazy. It was fun to be lazy. So then COVID happens. Didn't even like respect COVID for what it was. I was still working a job. I worked at Domino's.
Shout out to Domino's.
We were having parties and stuff like that. COVID was just COVID. So then come back in the fall. Same thing. Still not going to church at Vernon. Spring comes around, and then December hits, and I'm like, I have to get a little serious about what I have to do the next year because junior college is only 2 years. And I was at a point where like I kind of knew where I wasn't gonna like I knew that I had to like get out there in front of coaches in order to get offers because they weren't gonna come to me based on how I was playing. So like I emailed every Division I in the nation, I believe.
Every single Division I
I
school.
emailed every single Division I baseball team in the nation. Where like I started to really grow as this is where I was really starting to grow physically. I gained about 30 pounds. I came in 160 and then I was 190 that year. Started to grow physically, started to throw a little bit harder. And I was like, okay, this spring is make it or break it. But then I also had to think about the contingency, like the backup, where I was like, I kind of have to get real. If I don't play baseball, I have to get real. So I applied to UT.
I remember that, bro.
I
You were
applied-
dead about to go too.
I was about to quit. I applied to UT. I got into UT. So we're about like halfway through the end of the
And this is a time where didn't you and Dan make the bet around this time?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And still hadn't paid me. Dan told me that he would give me $1,000 if I hit 90 miles per hour. I was hitting around 85. And he said that like trolling me, knowing that he was thinking that I couldn't.
He said full confidence that he was not going to do it.
That I was not going to do it. So then we're coming down to the last month of baseball at Vernon, and I'm like, okay, I can either there's one of two things. Like I was really okay with being like done, being completely done. We started the season 3-1 in conference, and then at that point we were 7-25 in conference. Played in the toughest. I think we played in the toughest conference in the nation that year. Team in our conference actually won the national championship for Division I junior college. So it was half competition, half our play as well. But I was like, I was okay with being done at that point. Like I remember being on a phone call with my mom, like crying about it. I was just like, I think I'm done. Because like I didn't see I was very Division I or bust. I didn't want to go play Division II. I didn't want to go play NAIA D3, any of that. I wanted to go play Division I baseball.
Common misconception.
Absolutely. And so I was okay with being done. And then something told me it was just like you didn't come this far to come this far. And
shout out to Kim Kardashian.
I feel like I had a little bit more to go get. And I think this was God still speaking. This is God's favor, like literally whispering in my ear, even though I was a little bit apart from him. And like, yes, I would read my Bible and stuff like that, but like, I was apart. I felt like I was apart, and like I didn't feel it. So I started and then at this point, like I started drinking and stuff. Like I started like being a little bit away from my faith. And so like, in the outside part of my faith. And so like, I was like, okay, well, I thought I was done. God said, okay, keep going. Ended up hitting 90. Dan raised it to 95.
Really?
He raised it to 95.
I don't remember.
He was like, yeah, let's up it like 90's not even, you can't even hit it in game. He said I did hit it I ended up hitting it in game.
Wow.
Had a great game that was the last game of my junior college year. Had a great game. Ended up hitting 90 in game. Dan still didn't pay me, so he raised it to 95 in
Spam
game.
in the comments, Dan, pay up.
Yeah, please pay up. And so then he started. So then I was gonna commit to Rogers State University, which was a Division II, because I was like, okay, might as well keep playing. Rogers State was a nice school. They said they were gonna pay for my school, or no, they said they're gonna pay like 50%. So then I was like, okay, let's do it. They didn't send the papers for a month, and I kept asking the coach, who was my old coach at Vernon. They wouldn't send the papers, and I was just like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? Like, y'all gonna send the papers? They're like, yeah, we'll send them. So then I actually ended up going down to Austin. I don't know if you remember. We all went to the regional. Remember? It might have been just me, Dan, and Cam, but we all went to Might have been. So we all went down to the Austin Regional. Southern was playing in it. So Ryan, my best friend, who I mentioned earlier in middle school, we were good friends in high school as well.
Foreshadowing.
He went to Southern, and we went to go watch Southern play in the regional. So we're on the way back, and like I'd hit 90. Ryan was putting my name out there for the coach, and like hitting 90 was a pretty big metric as a pitcher, and it raised a lot of eyebrows, and so he ended up texting me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come to SU?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yes.
So then immediately I told the Rogers State coach, like, "Hey, like you didn't send the papers fast enough. Like I'm out of here." Ditched it.
See ya.
As much as I hate to say it, ditched it. Had a Division I dream.
Had to.
Southern was Division I in the SWAC. SWAC is the worst conference in Division I baseball. Metrically, you can say what you want about the play, but it's metrically the worst conference in the nation. And so
shout out to the SWAC though, man.
Shout out to the SWAC. Shout out to Black baseball.
Shout out to all the
SWAC,
HBCUs doing it.
You know what I'm saying? An HBCU, strictly HBCU conference. Does a lot for
they gonna kill you out there saying it's the worst. I mean, metrically you can't lie, but
metrically you can't lie. It truly is. Like if you look at it, the RPI every year, it is always the SWAC at the bottom. But it's Division I baseball, and it's gonna expose you to your dreams. And sometimes, especially the way transfer portal works now, it's a stepping stone.
Tight.
But honestly, it's the reason that these programs are like this is because they don't have funding. Like nobody gives back to this. They have a Southern's graduation rate is currently 9%. If you don't have
9%,
9%. If you don't have at four-year undergrad is 9%. Master's 6-year is 36%, I believe.
That's insane.
And it's because they have a really good law school at Southern University.
Shout out to Southern.
And so the reason that these schools aren't getting a lot of recruits and aren't getting a lot of attention is because of the facilities. The facilities are horrible. We hit under a freeway, and that we didn't have cages. We didn't have real cages. We hit under a freeway for our cages. We had really nice locker rooms and such, but we got very blessed with that. A lot of HBCUs were not blessed to have those facilities, and so they don't have money. They simply don't have money. These HBCUs have no money. And so that's why it's not because of these schools that they're bad at baseball. It's literally because you can't get recruits there. It's hard to get. You can't recruit guys there. So that's the tough part. That's the challenge that they face right now. Is just like they don't have money, which is why I feel so inspired to be able to give back to HBCU's baseball, because it brought me to where I am today. And it's great for Black culture, especially Black culture in baseball. And we need more of that because there's only like 5%. I think 5% of MLB players are Black, and at a point it used to be 30. We need to get back to that.
Dang.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
HBCU players, like a lot of HBCU players, Lou Brock,
shout out to him,
Andre Dawson, like
shout out to
Hall
him.
of Famers, legends.
Yeah,
played HBCU baseball, but you don't see a lot of HBCU baseball players making it to the MLB anymore because, of course, they're getting more money at these Tennessees, Vanderbilts, and stuff like that. Of course, but we need to do the only way that we can do a better job about bringing Black baseball back is by supporting HBCUs like these, giving them more money, giving more funding to get better players and to get more success. But it's so tough because it's just like, what can you do? Like, what can one man do? So we're going to do our best. I'm going to do everything I can to try to get those programs back to help out in any way possible. And that's why I feel very motivated in order to do that, because they were a stepping stone for me and they can be it for somebody else as well. So
and you get there.
Yes.
You on the campus.
Yeah. And so get there on campus. Yeah. Sorry. I had to go on that rant about Black baseball and HBCU.
Shout out to Black baseball.
Because I feel so
I respect it, bro. I respect
it.
I respect
it about it because I want them to be better.
And don't think I was trying to you know what I'm saying, not have him off the back. I was just saying for the sake of the time of the pod.
Yeah. So
I'm very pro Black.
Yes. No. Love it. So first year at Southern, faith-wise, still didn't go to church, still didn't go to any Bible studies. Read my Bible personally.
Even at Southern? Dang.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't go to single church. I went to one church service at Southern. That was it.
Okay.
So I was very apart in my faith, and then I started to smoking, start drinking, because this is what the other people at Southern were doing, and this was the party life. And especially we lived on LSU's campus. LSU's 15 minutes away from Southern. And I lived 5 minutes away from Tigerland, which is the string. No, not even 5 minute. 5 minute walk away from the string of bars at LSU.
That'll get you.
So my typical weekend.
Shout out to LSU.
My typical week was Monday go out. Tuesday, Wednesday,
Monday go out.
Monday go out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Wow.
Friday go out, Saturday tailgate and go out, repeat for probably about for the entire fall and a little bit of the
That's
spring.
crazy. You was doing it more than me, and I was DJing. I was in Philly. I was in the city.
Yeah, I was going out there.
That's crazy.
We were out. We were outside constantly. And like nobody told me like this like lifestyle was wrong, or like the way to go about it was wrong, because like I was just hanging around like-minded people.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them in any sort of way. It's just like that's what was fun.
That's
It
just
was
what was.
fun.
That's just the culture. That's what was
It
happening.
was
what's
fun.
going on,
It was
yeah.
it was our idea. It was our idea of fun. And so yeah, I just started to be a little bit apart in my faith, and like I mean, it was just like I felt like I was doing fine without God. So I felt like I was just like I don't like yeah. I felt like I was like I felt like everything was going fine without God.
And that's crazy. That's crazy to think about, bro. Because like you can you see it.
Mhm.
Like you're continuously making strides. You're hitting 90.
Mhm.
You finally get the D1 offer. You're
Mhm.
there.
Yes.
And then like, I mean, I don't know if you would say that's where your faith was at your lowest point, but like
Mhm.
you see like you're going up, but the
Yes.
faith is going down.
Yes, literally,
That's kind of crazy.
That's exactly what it was. It was like I felt like my fleshly body was going up, and my faith, like like the things of the flesh, my success, my social life, everything was going up, and then
Yeah.
like my faith was just steady dwindling.
Yeah.
And because I felt like in my head, honestly, truly in my head, I felt like, okay, if I'm doing something right, if things are going right in my life,
Yeah.
I'm doing something right in my faith if things are going right in my life. You know, I was cussing, I was smoking, I was drinking, like I was just doing everything that like I was doing everything, but I was just like, okay, well, I can't do anything too bad because like God hasn't wrecked my life yet. 'Cause I felt
Yeah.
like, you know, like, oh, God's gonna punish me, God's gonna like make me fail a drug test, this and that. By the way, we didn't get drug tested one time at Southern, nobody did.
Wow.
Because you can't afford it. So like, I mean, I thought like I
Shout out to
I
funding.
thought like God was gonna hit me with one of those moments, and it never did. So I was just like, okay, I guess what I'm doing is fine. And then first year at Southern was a fun year. It was cool to like really get the full Division I experience. I got to like to experience a lot of dreams. Pitched on national television on my first game with them. And had a close. It was a really cool moment. And then you know, it was a very mid year. Stat wise, it was very okay. Like I pitched a lot. I had the most appearances that year for the team.
Very mid-year compared to what was about to happen.
Yes, very mid year. Well, just mid year in general. Like I had like a 7 ERA, which isn't good. But I had the most innings pitched. So like involvement wise, I was doing really good. We lost in a championship game for SWAC. The SWAC championship game in 14 innings was very heartbreaking. Breaking. And so
English.
in the summer, so for baseball, typically you go play summer ball.
Oh my
In
gosh.
summer, you go play summer ball somewhere, kind of like distant, like in a city like Savannah Bananas. Had a summer ball team. You have teams in the most random places you could imagine. My place to go was Walla Walla, Washington, in Washington State. We did a 26-hour drive with me and another guy. Shout out Fitty Baldy.
Shout out to that was in the Buick, right?
Yes.
Shout out to the Buick.
26-hour drive in the Buick. Stopped in Utah, drove the rest to Washington, spent the summer out there. That's probably where my faith was at, like rock bottom. Didn't even think about going to church. Barely read my Bible.
Praying.
Hardly. I'm only praying whenever things like only praying before games, of course.
Tight. Routine.
Routine. Praying out of routine, and only saying saying the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
Smoked literally sun up, sundown.
Smoke weed every day.
Yes, because it was legal.
Shout out
It was legal out in Washington, and I was 21 at the time, so I would smoke day in and day out. But that was also a time where everything was going right.
Yeah.
I was the best pitcher out there. I had a fantastic season in a really competitive league. I was enjoying my time out there. I was making some really good friends. I got to experience a lot of great things. I loved Washington during the summer. It was a very beautiful place. Got to go, I was living life, and everything was fine. And I was it wasn't a fact I didn't need God, but it was things are going well.
Yeah.
God's giving me favor. I must be doing something right. But obviously I was not living the way that God wanted me to live.
Yeah.
But it was everything was fine. Everything was fine. I didn't need God. I didn't feel like I needed God. And then as much as it hurts to say, it's the truth. I just didn't feel like I needed God. So then I'm jumping into my fourth year, which would have been my junior year because we got a year, that freshman year of COVID back. I got in my fourth year. It's my junior year on the field. Had a good start. That summer in Walla Walla gave me a lot of confidence. I was I was one of the best pitchers in the league that year. Um, it gave me a lot of confidence, and it's crazy to be saying that like the way that the story started to be able to say those kind of things, but like
Yeah.
that was the journey that was going on, and like I had more faith in my journey than I had in God, which was crazy, and like that's what gave me confidence and like in it, and like I mean, I still had Bible verse on my glove. 2 Timothy 1:7 for God's not giving us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And because I had fear going into baseball, and so like I would have that verse on it, and like I was representing God. I had my cross necklace and everything. I was representing God, but I was like doing things that were not holy like. So I was like I wasn't
Yeah.
representing God at all. Senior year comes around, which was my senior year in the classroom.
Quick question: if you think someone were to come up to you and see you
Mhm.
like outwardly,
Mhm.
they would be like they would say like, oh yeah, like he's a Christian, he's doing the things
No,
like even outwardly,
not even
but
close.
not even outwardly.
So like so yes, outwardly yes. Actually, I don't even know, dude. Because
Nah, but that's why I asked the question. Like, it should be real. Like,
we were talking about, I pulled up to
oh, hey,
Hudson's
he put
with
up
the joint
with
in
a
my mouth.
J. Oh,
With
no.
a joint in my
I
mouth.
wish I wish we were filming it.
I wasn't even trying to. I don't think.
I
was
think I
even,
actually do have a video. You care if I put the video? Nah, actually, no, we can't put that video.
You can't
Nah.
put the video.
Yeah,
up.
no,
But
we-
I wasn't.
Nah.
I wasn't trying. I don't even think at that point, like I was trying to hide it by her. At that point, I really wasn't even trying to.
Nah,
hide
that
it.
was the craziest thing seeing you smoking, bro, because you were never on that. And you pulled up, I remember like cool as can be, like just so cool. And you had the J and you sparked it up, had one foot on the car, like you was it. Like I'm like, yo, what?
Yeah.
This is Nick?
Yeah, I was constantly high at that point.
Chain smoking.
Yes. So, go back to Southern, and
This is now your
this is my fourth year. I have
Yeah.
to go by fours, by the numbers, because like sophomore, junior doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Fourth year,
Journeyman.
had like same things, doing the same thing, got comfortable with it.
Wait.
literally doing the same thing.
I'm sorry. Nah, go ahead. I'm tripping. I'm like, wait, I'm just thinking like you did 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years in college.
God.
I don't know why that's like. I don't know why
No, because it just
yeah.
clicked. It just clicked. Sorry. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
6 years. I did 6 years in
I
college.
didn't mean to spoil that for y'all, but yeah.
Fourth year, same thing, drinking, smoking every weekend. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing devotions. That's cool. But
That's cool.
yeah, but I'm just like still not representing God at all. I would still talk about God. I remember having a conversation with Ryan, my roommate, about God,
Yeah.
and like I would defend God wholeheartedly, but I would not act in obedience.
Yeah.
So like I was just like I thought I had a relationship, and it truly wasn't. It truly wasn't. It's just like it's like having a girlfriend, saying that you have a girlfriend, but you're cheating on her all the time.
Yeah.
Like, do you really have that relationship with her, or
Yeah.
do you say you have a relationship with her?
Yeah.
Because on the outward appearance, like Instagram, everything, it looks cool. Like you're posting God. I was posting like Bible verses and such and stuff like that. Like literally, like
Yeah.
I was literally posting Bible verses like on my post. And it's like to make an outward appearance of like I was like of who I thought I was, and that's truly who I was not. I was not that, and
Yeah.
like I just kept putting on that front like I was that, and like it's like I wasn't repenting from my sin at all. It was zero repentance. I didn't feel bad about what I was doing.
No conviction.
No, zero, because I felt like once again everything was going right in my life, and so I was just like, well, if my life hasn't derailed yet, I must be doing something right. And like, if I'm still smoking and everything, and like everything's still working out fine, I'm still progressing as a player.
Yeah.
I guess everything's fine. So like that's just the way I thought and went about it, and just kind of ignored things. And so, going into that spring of that year was a life changing year. Ended up like I was the fourth player, and I had the fourth season in Southern's history to have 100 strikeouts.
Breaking records
was-
now.
yeah,
Get on the
I
Get on the records.
I was the third player overall to have 100 strikeouts. I was like fourth in the conference in ERA. I had a really good
What's the ERA for the people that don't know?
ERA is earned runs per average. It's the amount of runs that you let up every 9 innings.
Tight.
So the lower the better. So I had the lowest one in conference, and then the fourth lowest one overall. So like, I mean, I was successful. I was extremely successful.
Doing it, bro.
I was extremely successful on the field. Had an opportunity. Thought that year was done. So that year was the first year of the HBCU Classic, the Swingman Classic, run through the MLB. Shout out to Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey.
Did such an amazing job of promoting black baseball, black college baseball, and then putting it on a national stage. So this game would be broadcasted on MLB TV, and it was a part of All-Star Weekend, which is, your home run derby, your celebrity All-Star game, and your All-Star game, of course. So this was the first event of All-Star Weekend.
That's
which
crazy.
was just monumental for HBCUs because
Where was that? That was in Seattle?
that was in Seattle.
Yeah.
So the reason he could do that is because he played for the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah.
And so this was the first year where he could really be like, okay, I want to make this happen. And
That's
of course,
tough.
they're going to, like, Ken Griffey being Ken Griffey, they're going to let him do it. And so Ken Griffey, if you don't know, is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Was a Seattle Mariner for a very long time. So
he's black.
Yes, black player, and they love him. They love him up there. So they were like, they let him do whatever he wanted. So like they let it happen. And this was like so huge for HBCUs because it was our first time like really being on the national stage like that. Like, of course, you have a team that makes a regional every year, and so like that's the HBCU teams will play in the NCAA regional, but then HBCUs haven't won a regional game in 30 years or something like that. So it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
So for us to be on that national stage like that was just monumental. So I had the first one was the MVP Minority Black Players All-Star Game. That was in Gwinnett, Georgia. That was put on by this. It's an organization called Minority Black Players where they do a really amazing job of promoting black players.
Shout out to them.
Baseball. Yeah, shout out to them big time. So they put on a All-Star Game for us, and then had the HBCU Classic in July. So in between then, I didn't really have much going on, and then I get a phone call from my coach. He's like, "Hey, like, we might have you go play for the United States national team." I'm like, "Do what?" And so I'm like,
National team. Section.
Yes, section. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I was like, I don't really know what's going on with that. So then I was like, okay, whatever. I thought we were just talking. Next day he tells me, hey, we're gonna put you on. Like you're gonna go. You're gonna go to North Carolina. You're gonna go to Cary, North Carolina.
Shout out to Cary, man.
You're gonna go play in the trials, and then you're gonna go play one series against Chinese Taipei. I'm like,
Chinese.
What is going on? And like, I don't really believe it until I get like, I'm not believing that. So you put me on this flight. Get put on the flight.
Flew out.
Flew out to Cary, North Carolina. Was on there with Hagen. That's how I knew it was real. I was on there with Hagen Smith. Hagen Smith was the 3rd overall draft pick in the 2024 draft. And I was like, okay, this is legit. So I ended up playing with 21st rounders, 4 guys that are currently in the MLB right now. And
the show.
Coming from a guy that was at a HBCU, like, I just didn't really feel like I deserved to be there. But then, like, when I started playing, I was like, I was just like, no, like, I deserve to be here. And I started playing like it. And I started enjoying
we ain't coming
myself.
no more. We here.
Yeah, I started enjoying myself like it. And so, like, I would say that moment really helped out my faith a lot because it was just like, God's doing so many great and amazing things for me. The least I can do is give him praise for this. So, I mean, God was getting all the praise for that. It was still amazing. But, like, I didn't feel like I was fully devoting my life, but, like, I was, like, starting to take the steps to really, like, maybe what I'm doing isn't right. Maybe smoking all the time isn't right. So then I started to open my eyes a little bit to, like, the way I was acting disobedient. And then life-changing moment. So then I get on a flight. It was a crazy time because I played on the 4th of July. That was my last game with USA. Fly home, and then I fly out to Seattle the very next day and to go play the HBCU All-Star Game.
That's
week.
Crazy.
Craziest week of my life.
That's how you know you're doing it.
It was amazing. It was unreal. It was unreal.
That's tough.
So then come back home. I didn't think I was gonna I had a lot of voices in my ear. What are we doing on time?
We at like an hour 24.
Jeez.
You good.
So
we just keep it under 2 hours. You good.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Yeah. So ended up let's see. I lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm back home, and like there's a lot of voices in my ear talking about like, hey, you should go transfer because USA was a pretty big deal, especially with the amount of people I was.
You got stock now. You got some bargaining chips.
Yeah, I got some, but I was scared. I was terrified because I'm like, I don't like because I knew if I was gonna transfer, I couldn't go back to Southern.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I hit this transfer portal, like and I already signed my lease to go back to my apartment. So like, and I had my best friends that I was living with. So I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So then I I ended up I don't know. I ended up going to I was going back to church, of course. Whenever I go back home, I'd always go back to church. Watermark Community Church or Watermark Community is where I always went, and we'd
Shout
have
out
the
to
porch
them.
on Tuesdays, and so. I started praying on it, really started thinking on it. I was just like, maybe I should give this a chance. And so I started talking to my coach a little bit, Coach Stone, who was my coach my senior year in high school or throughout my time in high school. He was just like, like I really feel like you would like what would happen if you did hit the portal, because he was a USA coach himself for the 18U team. And so he was just like, I think this is a pretty big deal. You should go do this. And so
Hop
I
in
hit
that
the portal.
portal.
And it was beyond anything I could have expected.
Bro had him coming in.
I was crazy. I was getting
Pause.
calls from DBU was my first. Dallas Baptist was my first call. I always grew up going to their games. A lot of people don't know about Dallas Baptist, but Dallas Baptist is one of the best Division I baseball programs, mid-major baseball programs in the nation. Always somewhat in the top 25. They've made 11 straight regionals now. One of the premier programs in the nation for sure. Always highly respected them.
Shout out to them.
So I had calls from excuse me. Dallas Baptist was my first call. Coach Stone's son was actually a pitching coach there. First one to give me a call. Ended up being on a visit that next day and was in love with it. But I was getting calls from Oregon, Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, Kentucky.
Power 5. Power 5s were coming in.
Yeah, they were, and it was unbelievable. And so I was kind of at a crossroads. So it really came down to Oklahoma State, Kentucky, and DBU. I went on a visit to DBU, and I was waiting to go on a visit to Oklahoma State, but I was already so late into the transfer process where like there wasn't a lot of money left, so I had to make decisions quick. So I felt like Dallas Baptist was always calling me, and excuse me, that's God's favor by itself right there. Is just like the way that I was so attracted to Dallas Baptist. It was 30 minutes away from home. My mom could come to every game. My sister could come to every game. I felt like
it's coming home.
It's coming, like this was it. Everything was going together.
Full circle.
And so yeah, everything was all working out. I ended up committing, and then like my world started to kind of come down a little bit. So my parents had divorced that year before, and then my dad had gotten into some trouble with my car. He put up my title in my car. It was fully owned. He put up the title for it, and then
wait, what?
Yeah, so we had fully owned my car, the Buick, and then
I didn't even know that,
yeah,
bro.
so he's had some issues.
Wait, is this cool to put out? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah.
All right, I don't want to. You know
Yeah, it's all good.
All right,
so
all right.
he had some issues, and so he had he put my car title up. Got some
I don't know
money
why
from it,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
And
That's
so my
crazy.
car got repossessed. That literally the day
It got repo.
the day I committed to DBU, my car got repossessed.
That's crazy.
And so that was a really hard time because a lot of stuff that was in the dark started to come out to the light. Whenever they got divorced, I blame my mom a lot because it was my mom the one that initiated it. But like now I understand, like my mom had to. I have so much respect for her for that, and I apologize for the way that I had
the way you handled it.
the way I'd handled it, big time for her. So I super appreciated her and the way she handled that entire process.
Yeah.
So so that I was just kind of like at a crossroads with that, where like everything was going good, and I felt like that was not the downfall, but I felt like that was like kind of like a wake up call to me a little bit, like from God, where it's just like everything's not like peaches and roses, like you just like you're like there were some things that were going on, so like it kind of made me take a step back and like where I was. Once again, I was still in that vending machine process where like, okay, I must be doing something wrong because like there's something wrong going in my life.
Yeah.
Very vending machine. It's that this was literally through 3 years ago. So Dallas Baptist did huge things for my faith because this was a truly Christ-based campus. It's like literally like it's in its own dome, basically. Like it's a tight, like roped off campus. Um, you can't like there's a curfew.
What was the curfew?
You had to have like a roommate with you in your room.
Wait, what was the curfew?
11.
Okay.
You had 11, or you just had to show your ID after 11.
Oh, okay.
So it really wasn't like you could get back anytime you want. You just have to show your ID. But obviously you have to be in the right state of mind to come back.
Yeah.
So did that, and then like my roommate, like you had to have a roommate in your room. They'd do room checks and stuff like that. So it was a very tight.
Wow.
Yeah,
Room checks.
they had room
Okay.
checks. You couldn't have alcohol or anything. Couldn't drink on campus. Completely dry campus. All that stuff. So
Couldn't have girls in the dorms.
no.
Type.
One of my
Yeah.
buddies one of my roommates, shout out to him. He almost got
Shout out to him.
He almost got kicked off because he had a girl because he was at his girl's place.
Oh,
And
wow.
slept over there. Almost got kicked off the team.
Wow. And you had to stay on the dorms, and you couldn't stay off campus.
No, if you were gonna play a sport, you couldn't stay on campus
Wow. They
unless
locked.
you were married, and that was a case for a lot of people. A lot of people get married
Oh,
quick there.
just so they can move off type. No. Well, no.
Well,
I don't.
yeah, I mean,
I
it's just
don't. I don't want to put that on anybody.
Well,
but
Dallas
I'm just
Baptist,
saying, like,
well, the thing about Dallas Baptist, everybody was, of course, Christian there, so it was
Yeah.
just like everybody had that motive, like I can find my wife here,
which a lot did.
yeah, which
Yeah.
you can.
Shout out to
like,
them.
I mean, so Dallas Baptist did a lot for my faith, and it did a lot of work that didn't show on the outside, but it started to do some groundwork on the inside of my heart.
It's
So
real.
during my time at Dallas Baptist, I was still like in and out of like doing things that I shouldn't have done, and then like still going out like drinking on the weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then like going back and like praising the Lord on that day.
Yeah.
And so then like I ended up going to church a lot more, being a lot stronger in my faith, but like I still like I couldn't drop some things, especially like pride wise. So, like pride wise, like I still felt like it was still my success, not God's success that was like pushing me and pulling me through. And so because like I was at a Division I school, and like I was a good dude there. Like I was ended up pitching a lot, having a lot of innings. Ended up like being like somewhat like a social butterfly there. I still had my friends at home, so I'd still see my friends at home all the time, and everything was going good. And so like it did a lot for my faith because one, it educated me so much on like who God is, and like what God is about. And so like the main thing was just like bearing the image of God, and just like we are God's greatest expression is what DBU taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about community because we had good community groups. Oaks group was our Bible study group that we did as a
Shout out to them.
It taught me a lot about the way that a lot of times that we can try to be performative, but like especially for other people, but like the only person that really matters, and like it's God. That's the only person that we're really trying to put out in front, because everybody else is going to be disappointed. It's always going to be something more that somebody wants out of you. But like the way that God was about, like God just wants you for you. He just wants your heart.
Yeah.
And so like that is what DBU taught me. It was just like, I don't have to perform for these people. If I give God my heart, he's going to do everything. He's going to do everything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So that's what that was what that year taught me. And then of course, education, we had Old Testament and New Testament classes. So they taught me a lot more about who God is, and it gave me more of and this is what really changed my faith, is like not seeing the Bible as a group of like stories and lessons and teachings, but seeing the Bible as history. Once seeing the Bible as history changed everything for my faith, big time, because these are real events.
Yeah.
It's making these events seem more real and real.
Yeah.
And the way that the Old Testament connects with the New Testament and seeing that as history changed everything. Because you think about the Old Testament, and the Old Testament is, especially like early on, is the development of God's people.
Yes.
And every single thing, it taught me that the entire Bible points to Christ.
Yes.
And I didn't really understand that about the Bible. And so whenever you see these stories in the Old Testament, in Genesis and Exodus and Leviticus, even like Numbers, anything like that, like where it's just like a whole bunch of jargon, but it still means a lot. Everything points to Christ. And so once you view these view these moments as history, and like they are mentioning of a Messiah coming back,
Yeah.
and then the Messiah actually comes back in real time, in real history, and then dies and comes back to life, and then everything that was said about him 15 to 10,000 years before was actually true, 10,000 plus even before that was actually true, then you're like, okay, if I can turn these stories into history, then there's a reason that these teachings are being said.
Yeah.
So it gave more meaning. So like seeing that to history gave more meaning to like what Jesus was saying, because it was less about like you have to do these things in order to be this way. It was more of these things like do these things to be this way because because what they said about me is true, and what I'm saying about the future is true. And so it taught me like history made God's promises feel a lot more real to me, because they are real. They're 100% real.
Yeah.
But I just felt like fickle in my mind. But they're like actually real.
Shout out to history.
So DBU did such a amazing job of like instilling that within me. And then it was just like instilling the idea that it's a relationship. It's a relationship more than it's a relationship more than like a father, like more than like, I don't know what's the right way to say this. It's more of a relationship than like an agreement, I would say, or more than a relationship than an agreement, rather than just saying like, I'm going to do these things, you're going to give this to me. It was
hey, appreciate you. I'm going to get this.
Exactly.
You're going to save me. I'm going to go to heaven, right?
Yes, exactly. So he gave it's like a relationship is a friendship. It's like the way you look. I looked at God more of my friend, and it was just like, if my friend is trying to help me and I'm doing things that aren't that my friend, I'm not doing these things that my friend is trying to help me out with, and I'm going the opposite way, my friend is going to be very angry with me. My friend could even leave me. But that's the beautiful thing about Jesus Christ, is that no matter how many times that we go away from God, and how many times that we just try to just push ourselves away and we don't do what our friend says to do, God doesn't get angry with us. He just looks at his son. And whenever he looks at his son, he sees what his son had died for. And it's like Christ had died in order for us to be reconciled with God. So whenever we sin and we say that like our way is better, because that's what sin is, whenever we say that our way is better apart from God, and God sees this, he doesn't get angry at us like a friend would. He doesn't get angry at us like, okay, like, why don't you listen to me? You know what? I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what a friend would do. That's what a healthy friend would do.
Type.
If you kept on trying to help your friend out and they kept saying no, they kept doing their own thing and they kept hurting themselves, like, would you still be around for that friend? And the main thing is like, no, you probably wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But that's like how our God is so amazing. We're like, this is like the God of the universe. He can just be like, okay, this guy's a lost cause. Let me go focus on this guy because his relationship's a little better than me. No. He's more drawn to the guy that's away from him, because Jesus leaves the 99 to go get the one.
Yeah.
And he's more inclined, his heart, which is full of grace and mercy, is more inclined to go get this guy that's the one straggler than the 99 that are like have a better relationship with him. And that's just the beautiful part about the relationship that we have with God.
There for the sick.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what Jesus was brought here for. He wasn't brought here for the people that were righteous. He was brought here for the people that were sick.
Yeah.
I was sick. I was somebody that was like so consistently moving away from God. And he was just like, I'm going to pull you out. We're all sick. We're all sinners. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen. But it's just like, we have a healer that is, one, always going to be there for us, but two, is never going to leave us, even though we deserve to be left.
Yeah.
Like, that's the amazing thing about what Jesus Christ does, is like, he gives us what we don't deserve. And that's what mercy.
Yeah.
Grace is we get what we don't deserve. Mercy is we don't get what we do deserve. And God's heart is full of both of those.
That's good.
And that's such a good God that we serve there. And like, these are all the things, that's what I meant by like why the understanding of relationship was so important. Where it was like, I'm kind of tired of hurting my friend. I don't want to hurt my friend anymore. I
Yeah.
want to do, if my friend wants me to do good things and if my friend is telling the truth about who he is, why would I not believe my friend? So like that's whenever I started to see a little bit more about relationship. Obviously, I had a long way to go, but this was what started stirring my heart, where it was just like, okay, maybe what I'm doing on the outside isn't always
Yeah.
reflected on the inside. So all that to say, had a great year at DBU. Went 6-3, 6 wins, 3 losses. Had about an average ERA. Had a really fun year. It was a really cool year. We got up to rank number 8 in the nation.
Y'all were number 8?
Yeah, we got up to number 8.
That's tough.
Got to pitch against Oklahoma State, Alabama.
The team that offered you.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had a really good game against them. Had 2 really good games against them. Got to pitch against. I got to go to some really cool stadiums. It was all fun. It was great. It was an awesome year. I loved my year with DBU, and I loved my team, loved my community.
Yeah.
My coach was amazing. Everything was great. So I thought that year that I was gonna go get drafted. I got up to 95. Dan still didn't.
Dan, come on, bro. Need that money.
Got up to 95. Was doing really good. Had a lot of eyes on me, and even got like pitcher of the week in our conference. And so everything was going great. I thought everything was going great, like draft wise.
Yeah.
And so like at the end of the year, it was kind of like a question mark on whether I was going to get drafted or not. So then about a month passes by from the end of the season to the draft. Felt pretty good about getting drafted, and then thought it was going to happen, and it didn't. It dropped on me. I talked to 2 teams before. I thought it was going to happen, and then it didn't. And I was
we thought it was it.
Yeah,
bro.
I thought it was there, and that was my 5th year that I got back, and I thought I was completely done, and then it turns out that Division II didn't count an extra year, so then I got another year back.
We gonna run it back, boy. He's gonna keep running up the years.
I didn't know that was available. I thought I was just gonna either have to go play semi-pro baseball, or like it's professional baseball but not affiliated with the MLB.
Yeah.
Or go work a job. And then Cam calls me.
Shout out to Cam.
Cam just got done playing at Angelo State, who won a national championship in 23, were runners-up in 24 in Division II baseball. He's like, hey, these guys would love to have you. Great. And I was just like, really don't have much going on. Well, it's still good. Let's go do it. So went to Angelo State, and at first I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. I was like, I should be in the MLB. I should be in the MLB right now. All the guys that I went to USA with the year before, all of them got drafted. I was one of 2 guys that didn't get drafted on the team.
That's crazy.
I felt like I deserved to be there. I felt like I deserved it, and it didn't happen. It was heartbreaking, and it was like I didn't really know what to do with myself, and like, but it was one of those things where, and my coach from DBU put it to me best, and he was just like, God's going to put you exactly where you need to be at the end of the day. And he's like, where would you make more of an impact? In an MLB locker room or Division II at Angelo State? And it was an easy answer. I'm going to make more of an impact at Angelo State, coming in as a 6-year guy at a Division I school.
Yeah.
And I was going to come in and be a leader. And that changed my entire perspective. I ended up going to the Bible studies, leading the Bible studies for the most part. I went to church I found a church out there, got plugged into a church.
Yeah.
Felt stirred in my heart to go get baptized. I got baptized. So that whole experience,
Praise
I
God.
could have easily let the draft kind of consume me and define who I was in that present moment. But a really cool thing about our past is that we have the power to control our past. Is what, like, sometimes we think our past is beyond us, and it's like so far beyond our time, to where like we can just be like, oh yeah, no, like whatever happened, it's over. But we actually define our past. So the way that we define our past is like the draft either could have been a spiral down for my life, and it could have been somewhere. It could have been a place where, you know, I go to Angelo State, I go be my own thing, and I don't talk to anybody. I act like I'm better than everybody else, and then I don't get everything that I could get out of it. Or I accept it for what it is, and I see that I have a chance to make an impact at that level.
Yeah.
And I go out and I give my best, and I go do it. So I defined the way that the draft failure did to me. I defined what it did to me, and it made me so much better as a person, as a Christian, as a man of God, and just even at the time as a boyfriend. And so getting into that, so um, so I skipped over that one. I got a girlfriend at DBU.
Shout out to her, man.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her. No hate, no hate at all. It's a lot of love there. I got a girlfriend at DBU, and a lot of this stuff. So this was in the transition where like I was kind of transitioning out of doing the things that like that I was doing, and a lot of it like really was because of her, honestly. And it really like so like yes, my relationship with God was still developing.
Yeah.
But like, not to say I would do a lot of performative stuff for her, but like because my relationship was still strong with God, but she was a motivation where it was just like I have to be this way in order to be the best boyfriend that I could be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was doing a lot of performative stuff. I feel like, and you know, the relationship was great. Like it was really good. Like we even like talked about marriage in the short time that we'd had, which was nuts. But it was, but like
as Christian couples tend to do.
Yeah, I mean those DBU couples, it's insane. The time between dating, engagement, and marriage with DBU couples is so wild. It's like an epidemic.
Ring
there.
before spring.
It is ring before spring. It's
Yeah,
such a real thing.
Might be ring
I
before
thought that was Mormon.
winter.
I thought that was a Mormon
fall.
thing. No. Oh my gosh. So many rings before spring at DBU. It's crazy. There was two guys that were engaged on my team while we were playing at DBU. One of them was married.
Shout out to them.
No, two of them. Two of them were married.
Shout out to them. That's crazy.
So that was nuts. But yeah, so I started to do a lot of stuff that was like somewhat performative, but like it was like there was a lot of stuff where the main motivation was not God. It was the main motivation was for her.
For her,
and
yeah.
She was very strong in her faith. She was super strong in her faith, and it was very motivating to me in order for me to do the same. But like, who was it for? Like, what was the main motivation? It wasn't for God.
It was for God.
It was for her.
It was for man. Like it was for pleasing people.
And not to say that like I was sitting there thinking like, "Oh, I need to get baptized for my girlfriend," or "Ooh, I need to go to this Bible study, praying, thinking about my girlfriend." No.
Yeah.
It was, but there was a lot of things where I was just like, that I had to stop doing. Where I was thinking like, "Okay, what's my motivation for stopping doing this?"
Yeah.
Her. So then we ended up breaking up. So I'm going into my last year. I kind of accept that this is my last year playing. How much time we got?
15 minutes.
Okay. So I go into this last year thing knowing that it's my last year playing baseball. Didn't think it was going to be good enough to get drafted. A scout basically told me I had to win pitcher of the year in order to have a chance.
Pitcher of the year is crazy.
Which was not a crazy goal for myself considering the year that I had the last year, but then ran into an injury pretty early on, and it like I've still started every game, or every Friday. I was a Friday night starter. And so it kind of hindered me a little bit in what I could do, and it set me back. But like I was really okay with being done with playing baseball. So at that time, me and my girlfriend at the start of the season were broken up, and we had said that time apart was for us to grow our relationship with God, and so I took that time very seriously, and I locked it. Like I was reading my Bible. I was not to say the things that are performative, but like there were a lot of things.
doing all the right things.
Yeah,
on
I was
paper.
doing all the right.
Like you
things.
was doing all the right
Honestly,
things on
I
paper.
felt like I was in the right place in my heart. I felt my relationship was in the right place. I
Yeah.
felt like this was at that point was the best point in my life. I felt like I was in my relationship with God.
Yeah.
Truly, I feel like that was the most connected I'd ever felt with God, and I got a glimpse of what it truly looks like to be fully devoted and devoted towards Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's where it gave me a glimpse. But it was always that little thing of like, who am I doing this for?
Right.
What am I doing this for? In the back of my head, I was thinking like, I have to be able to be in my best relationship with Christ in order to be the best boyfriend that I could be.
Yeah.
That was my main motivation. Not to be in the best relationship I can with Jesus Christ, not to have the best relationship I can with God. It was to be the best boyfriend I could be. It was flesh-like. My motivation was very flesh-like.
Yeah.
But I mean, once again, it was just like I was still had my mind in the right place to have a relationship with God, but it was just for the wrong reasons. I didn't have the right motivations.
Yeah.
So then we ended up getting back together in the middle of that year. Things weren't the same, didn't work out. So then we broke up again, and then we said, if we're gonna break up for good this time. So then we broke up for good that time.
There you go.
And that time after really showed me where I was at with my relationship with God. because I completely shut it off. I started going back to doing the things I was doing before. I I really wasn't reading, I wasn't connecting the word that much. I wasn't talking to God that much, and it wasn't like I was angry with him, but I kind of was. I was a little angry with him because she had convicted me in a way that like I felt like was a little bit unfair, and but like it was unfair, but it was true. And
Yeah.
I believed that the things that she had said about me, and like I felt like I couldn't get out of that place where she had convicted me from. Like I felt like I was just stuck there. And so like it made me realize like what my true motivations were. And it wasn't established in Christ. It wasn't. It was established in a relationship that was not with Jesus. And so I had to reevaluate myself. So I got done with that year, thought I was done completely playing baseball. Signed up to move out here, signed my lease and everything.
Yep.
Came out, was ready to come out to Nashville. Literally threw my cleats up, hung up my cleats, knowing that I was gonna be done. Literally, they're hanging up in Angelo State right now. So I thought I was done completely playing baseball, and then I started to reevaluate my relationship with Christ that summer, where I was like, okay, it was one of those things where like I had to define my past again. And I had to say this relationship spiraled me down at first. It did. The breakup spiraled me down, but it was like I can either let this relationship define me or I can define the relationship. So then I started to, write my own past. And then I started to do the right things of like, okay, this happened for a reason. So then I made Nashville define it for me, honestly, because I wouldn't have gone out there I wouldn't be here right now unless we broke up. I would not have gone out to Nashville unless we broke up at all.
That's crazy, bro, that we talk about that, bro, because we talked about that in the chat with the guys. Like, it's crazy, bro.
So I'm gonna say I was like I'm gonna stay in Texas. Like we have to get like
because you were gonna stay there for her.
Yeah, I would stay there for her.
Literally,
like, I have to settle down, and get married. I told her that I was gonna like get on a knee around this time last year. I said that. Yeah, crazy. So, I wouldn't have moved out to Nashville without her. So like I was like, okay, God has me out here for a reason. Let's go see what that reason is. So immediately got plugged into a church. I could have been out here doing the same things I was doing before college because I even had the motivation of not being drug tested or anything. Could have got right back to it.
Easy.
Yeah, and so to say like I was completely healed from those things is a lie, but like I was in a much better spot than I was before.
Yeah.
And my faith, I felt so much more led in my faith, which was such a difference. I felt like my faith was such an inward it was an inward development, but now I felt like this inward development was spreading outwards, and I could see that by the relationships I was having with people at work. Yeah. And like my relationship.
Shout out to Dell, man. Shout out to all the people at Dell. Shout out to Team Purple.
Shout out Witten.
Team Witten.
Shout out Team Terra. Shout out everybody.
Everybody.
So I really felt like the relationship I was having with Christ was like expelling outwards. Yeah. And then I became a member at Legacy Church. Shout out Legacy.
Shout out Legacy.
Shout out Pastor Lyle. Shout out Nick. Shout out everybody. Shout out the Hermitage. Dinner party. Everybody. So it was huge. It was dinner parties. I felt like what God was doing out here with me. I was truly happy. Like everything was going great, and then, crazy because Banana Ball. New development in like sports entertainment. They had a tryout at Vanderbilt. Once again,
Vanderbilt is here in Nashville.
15 minutes down the road. No, not 5 minutes.
Not
down
even.
The street
Yeah,
from
not
our house.
even.
I would not have gone to the tryout if it was not in that city. They had 4 tryouts in the nation. They had Nashville, LA, Dallas, and Savannah. I would not have gone if the tryout was in Nashville. So I mean, if that tells anything about where God wanted me to be, which is crazy. And then so I went to the tryout, had a good tryout, did my thing, and then waited for about a month. And then in that time of waiting, it was like, it was such a time where I was just like, God, do what you want with me.
Yep.
At this moment, wherever you want me to be. If you want me to be planted here, awesome. Felt planted here. I was okay with being planted here.
You were so okay with that, bro. Really okay. That was the thing, bro. Like that was the thing that was really dope to see about you was the fact that you had peace. Like either way it went. Like, cause you were already like making strides in work and life, like with your community, like getting established here, and of course if it, like on the other side, if you would have made Banana Ball, it would have been even like still up, like you were playing baseball again, doing what you love, like that was dope. That's how I knew you were for real in a good place. Like,
and that's where I knew, and that's how also I knew that, like, you know, I was in a good place with God as well, because I knew that wherever God is gonna have me, I'm gonna make the most out of where I'm at. And that is,
he's gonna use you wherever.
He's gonna use me wherever, and I could see the way he was using me in Nashville.
Yeah,
I could have easily been in Nashville and been like, God, why am I here? Like, what am I even doing?
Nah, yeah, I saw it too, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, and so like, and that happens, and that can happen a lot, especially me being in a 9-to-5 job, which was very different than me being in playing college baseball for 6 years.
Yeah,
it was a new stage of life, and I could have easily, once again, defined my past and been like, okay, yeah, like I'm out here for no reason. Could have been out just drinking every weekend and then like being miserable at my work and then doing the same thing every single week.
Yeah.
But it was like I really feel like I had to define like what this meant to me. And so like with me being at a good place either way, I really felt like, you know, this is what God has set out for me. And like it felt an amazing place to be at. So God's blessing ended up making the team. And then I think at that point, like, I think that did a lot for my faith as well, because it was like, okay, I asked God to do this for me, and it's just like, okay, well, thanks God, I'm good now. Which is the way I used to look at it before. It was just like, I'm gonna pray really hard for this thing, and then I get it, and then like, okay, good, cool, yeah, thanks God, appreciate it. No, it was like, I need, and like Pastor Lyle at Legacy had such a great way to put it, and this was it was during the middle of this segment when he was talking about vision, having vision for your life, and we can't have vision unless we are truly connected with God, because that's where our vision comes from. Either we can have our vision, or we can have God's vision for our life.
That's right.
And honestly, like, it's really only God's vision for our life that really goes on. We just think that our vision goes on.
Yeah.
So like, and that's why that's why good and the bad and the ugly happens, is because this is God's vision for our life.
Yeah.
So we can either fall in line with this God's vision for our life, or we can fight against it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, like, you know, how do we see God's vision for our life? Well, it's through obedience. It's through knowing his word. It's through hearing his word. It's through prayer. It's through connection. It's through a relationship. How do you know somebody? How do you know what somebody wants for you? You have a relationship with them. Simple as that. And so like, that's what that taught me, was just like, you know what? Like, thanks God for this. What am I going to do next? What do you want me to do next? Where do you want me to go with this? Where do you want me to do with this Banana Ball stuff? Where do you want me to go?
Yeah.
So that's the stage that I'm at right now, is just like, what do you want me to do with this great thing that I have? And once again, if you don't know what Banana Ball is, it has taken the nation by storm, and it honestly, like, it's really,
it actually has. It's kind of insane.
They just sold out $200,000 or $100,000. They sold out 200,000
capacity.
seated stadiums, football stadiums for baseball game. Sold out two.
Kyle Field, Texas A&M.
Neyland Stadium, University of Tennessee, and Texas A&M.
Crazy.
Both of those. Not my team. Sorry, not my team. But I mean, we've sold out, like, we have 5 MLB stadiums that we're playing at.
But that still helps y'all.
Yeah.
Even if it's like y'all aren't the ones.
I used
like,
to think
because there's 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's six Banana Ball teams.
Yeah, because it grows the popularity of the league, and I used to think that it was like taken away, because if you haven't seen it, there's a lot of dancing that goes along. It's a lot of non-baseball things that go on. It's a show. It's a lot of a show. It's baseball and a show. And I was like, they're taking away from baseball. Like, you know, kids aren't gonna like this, but like, the common man, like people at Dell love it. They love it. Like, people, like, that's what it showed me a lot. I was like, I told people, like, oh, I'm trying out for the Bananas. They're like, you're trying out for the Bananas? I was like,
and everybody knew what it was too.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I didn't know anybody who knew what it was, but like, that's what it told me. It's like, these people don't even know they don't even know 2 things about baseball, but they know what Banana Ball is.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you go to a Banana Ball game, you're watching a baseball game for the most part. It has changed rules and everything, but you're watching baseball for the most part. So what does that mean? Is that it's growing the love and the passion for baseball, and I think it even, like, it's not taken away from the MLB. I think it's bringing up the MLB. I think it's going to bring up the MLB. I think people are going to see this game, and they're going to be like, okay, let's go watch the real version of this thing. Oh my gosh, wait, this game's actually fun. And like, I think the way I like to see it is like, Banana Ball helps people see baseball the way that I see baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball is so much fun for me. It is a good time the whole way around. And banana ball is a lot of fun for people. Baseball is typically boring because it's a slow sport. Banana ball is baseball sped up.
Yeah.
So then I think that, like, if people see this game that's sped up, they're like, wait, maybe this game is actually fun. Maybe this game is actually worth watching. And then so, like, now you see baseball for what I truly think baseball should be seen as, which is a very fun game.
Yeah,
So,
and that's
like,
the beautiful part about it, bro.
And then the impact that you can make. Oh my gosh.
100%.
They
Yeah,
do a
that's
lot
what,
of things.
and I think like just thinking about this, hearing you speak about it, like your platform is obviously gonna grow. So I think that being a part of it and you being able to, you know, spread the gospel using the platform, and you know, well, I do know this because you've said this about what you feel like your purpose is, and that's involving spreading the gospel for sure. So it definitely feels like God is giving you the platform to do that.
Yes.
And I think that's a beautiful thing, especially at the scale that you're going to be doing it at. You know, like you're going to be in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Playing these games. So that's just. And they're all eyes on you, drawing back to you, going to be going back to your social media and stuff, bro. So like, it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I fully believe that God always used my baseball story, which is why I surrounded the story around baseball, because I feel like God used baseball in order for me to be here.
100%.
So then now God is using baseball in order for His name to be brought greater, and it's being brought to fruition. Like I see, I'm like, God, why did I go through all these things? And like now it's like, oh, it's
apparent.
This is it.
We know why.
This is what you brought me here for. So very excited for this upcoming year with the Indianapolis Clowns. We're bringing back an old Negro League team, which is really cool.
That's huge. Talk about keeping it black.
Yeah, I was talking about earlier about how we want to keep black baseball popular and how we want to bring it back. And I was talking about like the ways I want to help out HBCUs in that way. I really think what we can do is going to make the game more fun and more appealing to young black kids.
Bro, what if y'all played at an HBCU?
Dude, so like an idea that I
like
have,
the Clowns played at an HBCU.
I mean, we're playing at Rickwood Field, which is one of the oldest stadiums in the country. It was an old Negro League stadium, which is in Alabama.
That's huge.
But my plan, I really want to bring out like FAMU, because we play at
the band.
Yeah, we play at Florida State first weekend.
That's hard.
It's in Tallahassee, and of course
tough.
FAMU's in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
So I think one of my first pitches to Yellow Tux Man Jesse is gonna be
shout out to Yellow Tux Man Jesse.
Gonna bring out
for giving my boy Nick the opportunity.
Yeah, shout out Yellow Tux Jess. Thank you. But yeah, I think I really want to be able to express HBCUs and black culture, and I think like FAMU, one of the best, the Marching 100.
Yeah,
that's gonna be like one of the like best ways to do it. So
yeah,
hopefully that's my first idea. That's gonna be our first game, February 27th. If that comes through, that means that we did it.
Hey, and he gonna do it, man. And hey, we praying for you, Nick. We know you gonna go crazy, bro. Like, thank you for taking the time, to do that.
It was a lot of time.
We're in Nashville. We're 2 hours worth. We're in Nashville right now, but Nick is actually leaving tomorrow to go to Savannah. Crazy. So this is crazy. So by the time y'all seeing this, he's already there in training camp doing the thing. So y'all be praying for him. Lift him up. Where can they find you on socials?
Yep, please do. You can find me at Nick Wilson _33 on Instagram. Nick Wilson 76 on TikTok.
What's up with the numbers?
33. Well, 33 is like my number.
Oh, okay.
So like 33's been, so it's really cool because I had been 33 since I was sophomore in high school on a summer team. So, and then this is the first year I'm going to be 33 again.
Shout out to 33.
Yeah, it's been my number for a while. So
and
exciting.
Then that's dope. Well, hey man, Nick, appreciate you, boy.
Yep.
Solid.
Oh, so that boy when it vanished. Always, hey, I went got banished out. Dance for the Lord like a disco. Main difference is I don't panic now. Tryna better fruit, I feel tangy. Me and Holy Spirit, we just hanging out. JC only said I'm banging. Blood on my body like I'm breaking.
Shout out to kids watching. Shout out to students watching. Shout out to Dale people watching. Shout out to all y'all. We love y'all. For real. Y'all get out of here, man.
I be rocking fashion like
No, I'm ripping Dan.
Anyway, he need me like a two-way.
When they're not live, yo, remember
Play
that.
real hard
Those
like a
who
free
don't know.
throw. Beat a beat like daylight, I'm a cruise weight. Let it work, take the book, call indulging it. It's a different type of swag, what you calling it? It's that real art, I just had to follow it. Spirit in my body, it just give me confidence. They be trying to wait till
Y'all hear it, man? It's in the YJP, watch this podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in.
It's the real me. Now
Love
I'm
y'all.
not playing dress up.
Thank you.